Bah! Oh my days. What in the world was that? I did say Crystal Palace would be the hardest game of the season, right? And so it proved to be. They're a quality team under Glasner, right? Is it 17 undefeated or something like that? They have our number. They crowded the midfield and we couldn't get through. And we can't break through in the middle. We don't look like we're creating chances. A lot of players had a shocking game. Let's tell it as it is, right? Even Arne Slot doesn't come away from that game with much credit, but I can forgive Kirkez's wild, erratic moments. I can forgive Mateta dominating Ibu Konate in the first half, absolutely battering him from pillar to post. You know, Qu'est-ce la salle de bain? Where's the toilet? Voulez-vous coucher avec moi? Something with me ce soir? I don't know. They're both French, right? What I cannot forgive. How can you let Nketiah score the winner? I know 97th minute, 98th minute, in a 6 minutes of added time. What is up with that? Slot going ballistic on the sideline. But Nketiah is the worst striker in the Premier League, and Crystal Palace got absolutely robbed paying that amount. He's rubbish. I'm sorry, I'm saying it as it is. He's absolutely rubbish. But we could have been 3-0 down in the first half. Alisson Becker pulled worldie after worldie. But saying that, though, Dean Henderson always has a shockingly good game against Liverpool. I don't know what it is with this brother. He... That Gravenberch full pelt arrowed into the top corner. Now, let's take that back a second. Why is Mo Salah taking the free kicks? He never scores free kicks for Liverpool, right? He hasn't got a good shot to begin with. I know he's left-footed. Let Wirtz take the short free kicks. We'll come to Wirtz in a second. Let's obviously take the long free kicks. Why is Salah taking the free kick? His pseudo assist to Robertson. He was going miles wide, hit Robertson on the arse and went in. I know Isak was crawling around there. Speaking of which, Isak wormed his way into the box, got his foot stepped on, and he carried on and took the shot. He should have just fallen over and it would have been a penalty. Similarly, Frimpong got clattered, taken out, right? But he still kept his balance and played the ball, took it out of the danger zone. He should have fell over as well. Way too honest. They're not game smart, haven't got the street smarts. Frimpong couldn't get up to the pace of the game. Szoboszlai was looking good at right back, but we need his energy in midfield as well. Szoboszlai finally took the initiative and took a shot, and Salah deflected over the bar. I reckon that would have gone through Henderson. I would think that would have been the equaliser, 1-1. Federico Chiesa, let's put it on a good note here. Federico Chiesa is the new Divock Origi. He came on and slotted it. Bang! Scuffled it into the back of net. He worked his magic. Onto the left foot, tried to curl it as well. Chiesa needs to be playing games. Arne Slot can't be discriminating against our Italian machismo Federico. He's looking so sharp. Cody Gakpo came on, made an impact, but faded in a 45-minute kind of spell. He came on and faded. Now, he worked his way. He hustled. He flipped the ball over. He got the ball into the box on occasion. But I never want to see that back post crossed into Salah. And, yeah, a word on Salah. He is our talisman, even with the introduction of Florian Wirtz, who gets most of the ball. But he's a liability this season. He's being carried for sure. Now, I'm usually one for massive positivity, but this is substance in abundance, and I got to tell it as it is. Mo Salah is pretty useless in the transition because he lacks pace. He's pretty useless as a hold-up player because he hasn't got the physicality. He's great on off-the-ball runs, but we can't be channeling the ball to him constantly because we've got Nketiah, Wirtz, Isak, all of who need the ball to be effective, right? So it's no longer Trent to Salah. Trent and Salah having a pseudo 8 Henderson, Milner, Ox, obviously covering for Trent and Salah. Salah was given the burden of carrying Liverpool on his shoulders as the creative fulcrum with assists and goals, and he scored many assists and goals and helped us win the Premier League last season. He was a big factor in that. But this season, there's not been one game where he's taken the game by scruff of neck. He's not even beaten the man. I think 1 out of 50 attempts to beat the man, it might come off for him, right? He can't go in behind because of pace, which means the opposition can hold a high line. They're not afraid to give him space because he's very, very left-footed and he can only trivela the ball from the right-hand side. The right-footed cross, on one occasion he got free on the right-hand side, needed a simple right-footed cross, right? He's got time in the world to stop it. No one's pressuring him. Isak's free on the back post. It would have been 1-1. Or is it 1-0 at the time? Might have been 1-1. I think it was 1-1. And he ballooned it. Those clutch moments, you need precision. For Florian Wirtz, all those people who are saying Florian Wirtz is a flop, 007, 0 goals, 0 assists, 7 games. Yeah, it's true. It's a fact. However, he looks like he's trying and plugging away quick feet interchanging touch to get to space in 10 position, but then there's no runners, there's no movements ahead of him. So what is the tactic here by Arne Slot? Usually Arne Slot builds through the middle into the midfield before distributing out wide, because if you go out wide early, it's congested and you don't get the space to do anything on the whips, and the whips is furthest away from goals, so you can't do that. So he shuffles the ball into McAllister, Gravenberch and Szoboszlai in the middle to work it out wide to play from there or into the 10 position. But Crystal Palace put five players, a diamond, a pentagon. It's a pentagon, 5 sides around Gravenberch, which meant Gravenberch was nullified, but still, even then, he worked his way out of on occasion and contributed it in 10 position higher up. McAllister, deep line position, played the ball through the lines, trying to dominate. McAllister, Szoboszlai and Gravenberch tried their best. Nullified in the middle, but word for Szoboszlai, I want to see him be brave, take initiative, do a turn, power through the midfield, run through the midfield. He passes the buck so many times to Salah. When he should shoot, he just passes it to Salah, puts the Salah in a wide area where they're going nowhere. There's no threat from a Salah in a wide position. Unless Salah can worm his way into the inside forward position where he dominates, even then he's not dominating there this season, then he's ineffective. So Szoboszlai has to take the initiative himself. Did you see Conor Bradley in the first half, right? I'm not being petty here. Conor Bradley was 10 times the attacking threat of Mo Salah. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. Conor Bradley is such an all-round footballer, taking the ball on the charge, flattening Mark Guehi. Beat Mark Guehi twice on occasion, around the outside, crossing in. He's not the best crosser, but he's effective. He gets an inside forward position, goes into penalty box areas, takes a shot, plays the 1-2s. Conor Bradley was super effective, but probably burned himself out in that cameo appearance. And then you've got opposition like Adam Wharton, right? Flicking over a player's head, dribbling through 3 players, and then laying off to Mateta. Mateta absolutely bullied and battered Konate, right? Either whoop, whoop, boom, boom, boom. The crowd were loving it. Left-footed shot, hit the post. Cracking shot that Alisson Becker saved as well. Alisson Becker played phenomenal. We can't always rely on such a world-class keeper. I don't know the tactics in this particular match because it looks as though we set up in a 4-2-4 formation on the press, but with the 2 in the middle, they're never getting the ball, which means the 4 up front are isolated. Isak got no service at all, no service whatsoever. Salah is a bystander on the whips. Yes, and Florian Wirtz tried to plug away in the 10 position, but when you're surrounded without off the ball, when we get the ball, there's no movement. It's so static. I get positional play, I get stretching the pitch, but Palace are so disciplined, going man-to-man, winning the duels, winning the second phases, winning the balls. And when you see Palace coming forward, their passes are connecting. They're connecting to the feet of the player and interchange, the dummy runner, and back it goes on a pullback with a player coming in, Munoz on that occasion, smashing towards goal. Alisson Becker diving to his left, strong forearm save again, right? We really could have been 3-0 down at half-time, but we could have been 1-1 or even 2-1 on occasion. Dominic Szoboszlai shot, Salah deflected it over. Salah overhitting the pass to Isak as well. The Gravenberch rifled attempt into the top corner. Disappointing display all the time, but nobody is going to go to Selhurst Park and get a easy victory because they've got good players. Daichi Kamada, word for Daichi Kamada. 1 second. This boy right here, number 15 for Japan, right? Daichi Kamada, he's an absolute don. He is a wonderful playmaker, deep line playmaker, advanced playmaker, trequartista in between the lines, box-to-box midfielder. He works incredibly hard. He's got techers, he's got techniques, he's got skill as well. I think he's better than Shinji Kagawa. He's amazing, an amazing player. Between him and Wharton and Will Hughes, who's really technical. Once upon a time, Liverpool after Will Hughes as well. That technical midfield bossed us because they did not allow any passing channels into the centre midfield. They dominated that game. And if we can't dominate the centre midfield, then something's going on here because we've got Gravenberch, McAllister, Szoboszlai and Wirtz. And the whips are severely lacking. Now, Lucho Diaz is absolutely ripping it apart in Bayern Munich. I know we needed it for funds. Luchito, right, from Barrancas. It was a good opportunity to sell him. We got good money. He wouldn't re-sign a contract because we didn't offer him the wages that he want, but he's more effective than Cody Gakpo at the moment. Cody Gakpo is one-dimensional but effective. He was effective when he came on, but he's not having a good run this season. He's really not getting the shots away, and it's questionable. Moha with the step-overs is a constant threat, but I don't think Arne Slot trusts him in the transition, trusts him in the pressing game, and trusts him to start as well. But Federico Chiesa certainly should start. Unless there's inherent bias or there's something in Salah's contract that says he has to start games and can't be subbed for whatever occasion. Slot must start subbing Mo Salah, otherwise things will go south very quickly. We haven't dominated any game. It's a champion's trait, the reigning defending Liverpool champions, to win late, right? The monster mentality, winning late is a great thing. We equalise late with Chiesa as well, and we're on the front foot. But you can't always rely on taking it late. Some point or another, you can't just wait until it clicks. Tactically, we have to get the 2, 3, 4 goal lead early on because our attacking intent merits it. But at the same time, we were against a Disciplined, low block, and a cunning, conniving coach in Glasner, who I don't like, by the way. He's so smarmy and cheesy, right? But Crystal Palace had points of attacks where they connected the play into play marvelously, beautifully. Champions of the league, like prime Barcelona, not even the prime Barcelona of Messi, Neymar, Suarez. You're going back to Romario, Hristo Stoichkov, right? Romanian Hadji, all that kind of good stuff as well. They looked absolutely immense with a game plan and clear patterns of play. And when everyone's behind the line chasing Ismail Assar, who always scores against us, I know that should have been a goal kick, not a corner, right? The referees balls it up, and Kavanagh was a referee, and Kavanagh was a disgrace, absolute maniacal disgrace. I know the Reddit forums are going berserk, saying Kirkes is a waste of money. He's crap. He's never going to fulfill his potential. He should have cleared it. The right foot was that left foot, giving an opportunity for the long throw in. Konate, absolute clown fiesta, getting dominated by Mateta. Anyone can get dominated by Mateta. He's very hot and cold at any given occasion. He played better in the second half, but he got bullied. Let's put it straight. Konate got bullied, got robbed of the ball. I don't like this Konate and Van Dijk waiting for the press to come on us, to rob the opposition, to rob us of the ball, to break the lines. They're not going to break the lines in the middle if they've got three behind them constantly threatening Gravenberch and McAllister, right? So you've got to play smart. The Van Dijk long ball was under hit, gave them opposition on transition, and that's where they got the attempt and got a goal as well. Sometimes you've just got to pick up the mantle, drive yourself like Matip, like Joel Matip, the galloping giraffe. Back yourself to drive through the midfield, to break through the press. If the midfielders are not available, the midfielders can split like the Red Sea, and you drive yourself. Milos Kerkez needs to be aggressive and go forward as well, like Conor Bradley. Conor Bradley was the one sparkling light in this performance. Conor Bradley, Gravenberch, Szoboszlai plucked away, but he needs to take more onus and more responsibility. Otherwise, I don't get it. You can't just keep passing the buck to Mo Salah because he's not performing this season as well. I know we got new players to integrate in. We missed Nketiah, but it was Nketiah's like dumbfoolery to take off the shirt, get the red card. Is his own fault. So you can't say anything else except Nketiah, learn from a mistake. We need you, contribute. But would Nketiah have made a difference in this match? The midfield's so congested and he drops into the lines. Could he have done better on the left side shuffle? We didn't even get the ball to the left side on occasion because Isak drifted there and we didn't get the ball there. We couldn't get the ball to Mo Salah, and even when we did get there, he loses the ball. He loses the ball 60, 70, 80% of the time. He's a game winner on occasion, but we can't rely on that. I think something's got to change here. So Robertson has probably outperformed Kerkez this season. Kerkez has had a fantastic match against Noni Madueke against the Arsenal match. He's good. He's talented. But he needs to be taken out of the firing line on occasion. And Robertson would have probably closed up the show. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Don't know. What ifs? No point looking at hindsight. Frimpong needs to start a wing back high up in a full back, right back position. Sure, he's got the pace to get onto the ball. He won us the penalty against Burnley as well. But yeah, hot and cold at the moment. Conor Bradley looks like the more accomplished of the two. Gravenberch, player of the season. Szoboszlai has done amazingly well, but needs to take the onus more on himself. McAllister's getting up to speed. Nketiah has been a man on fire, 5 goals this season. Isak needs to get his bearings, needs to get service first and foremost. We've seen tricky feet up front. Wirtz needs to really, really be more clinical, right? So for all the pockets of space he found, all the quick feet, all the link-up play, it was absolutely criminal. That Dominic Szoboszlai crossed into the box, evaded everyone, and he ran onto it. 100 times out of 100, a player versus quality needs to finish that. He hit it right at Henderson, studded down into the floor. He absolutely needs to finish that because that shot was a disgrace. Let's be honest with it. I love Florian Wirtz. I think he'll come good, but there's no hiding away from the fact that was awful. That was an awful attempt. I would have scored that even with a broken toe. Ato would have definitely scored that. Ato's top class. Mushroom boy Ato. Yeah, so what needs to change? I think this slow build-up lateral play, patient approach, inviting a press needs to change. Sometimes you've got to take the initiative, like Palace, and go into the midfield, bypass the press, go for it without inviting the press. Just play through the lines, tiki-taka, 1-2, up front, wing, dynamic, drive at the opposition. Don't be afraid to lose the ball. Don't be afraid to dribble. Take the risks, because on the turnover, on the transition, if we turn them over when they've got a ball, that is a gang press, and that gives us the best counter-attacking chance. You don't always need to control the game. There's too much control, less risk, more predictability, less exciting in all honesty. Get the ball to Isak, let him challenge on the turn 1v1. Hit it into space so our player can dart onto and challenge the fullback 1-to-1 when they get driven out. The centre-back gets pulled out wide, challenge from 1v1. Cross the ball into box. We lack crosses in an Arne Slot system because, I don't know, for whatever reason, the only cross that comes in is Gakpo's cut inside, far post cross to Mo Salah, which I've never seen that work. Has anyone seen that work? Gakpo's cross to Mo Salah at the back post. I've never seen it work. And now that we've got Nketiah and Isak, why aren't they on the back post and Salah in the penalty box area? There's so much wrong with this performance. I'm not just moaning and whinging and crying. Tactically, I'm analysing what's going on and thinking, where are the resolutions here? Arne Slot needs to play Chiesa. Chiesa's tricky. He's got footwork. He's connecting the play. He's a shadow striker, which we're lacking at the moment because Wirtz doesn't seem to have the runners off him. Whereas when Chiesa's on the ball, Ngamoha's running, Frimpong is running, Isak is running. Everyone's trying to make Chiesa, give him the space and the runs. He needs to either shoot himself or interchange and play the 1-2s. I don't know why we're not doing that when Wirtz is on the pitch. Isak is a little bit static. Maybe he's been instructed to stay between the penalty box areas because he's a sharpshooter. But let's have dynamic movement. Let's have the wingers interchange. Where is the rotation of the wingers, right? Ian Robin, Damien Duff, Joe Cole, rotating and, pulling defenses all over the place. We're way too static ever since the days of Mane and Firmino. I know that Salah can only play on the right-hand side. He's barely effective on the left-hand side. But we saw in the opening game of the season, Endo over the ball, or was it opening game of the season? Maybe the second game. Endo, cryonic kick into the left-hand channel. Salah took it, came inside the right foot and scored. Salah needs to evolve his game, be less about himself and more about the team facilitating other players, which he said he would do, but he's not doing that at the moment. He got in the way of Szoboszlai's shot. He took the free kick himself, and he nearly handballed it when Chiesa, he barely got pushed in the air. The hand flailing, just about missed it because he didn't see the ball take a deflection or diversion. I don't know, man. Depressing, disappointing performance. Palace deserved to win that game. Alisson Becker kept us in that game. Conor Bradley was absolutely immense. Federico Chiesa, Italiano, finest wine, divine. Really, really pulling his weight and scoring. He's in the Champions League squad now. We've got to get back on track. Chelsea away is a hard game. They're very hot and cold. They've got no Palmer. The players are failing to gel. They spent horrendously. Why would you sign Gittins and Garnacho? They're crap. They are just rubbish. Not even potential wonder kids or anything like that. They are outright crap. Yeah, they got Caicedo, fair enough. Enzo Fernandez, they got some decent players, but their backline, right? Their backline, Badia Shile, Achimpong. Chimpo means the wiener in Japanese, by the way. Thought I shoved that in there. They got Reece James at right back, a little bit crocked. Correa at left back. They're fairly solid, but Roberto Sanchez in goal. We got to be peppering his goal. There's no excuse if we're not taking loads and loads of shots at this goalkeeper, Roberto Sanchez. People like Rory Jennings is having a hissy fit and a moan and a cry because of Chelsea's crapness. Enzo Maresca won the World Club Championship against PSG. Great. Woo! Palmer had an amazing day pulling it out of his ass, winning the game for them. But Chelsea aren't a good team. They're vulnerable. They're fragile, right? They are fragile. And with their red card as well, they haven't got an attacking or potent force attacking either. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens, but we've got to do them over at Stamford Bridge, get our momentum, because Arsenal play against Newcastle today, and we hope St. James's Park, we've arrested Joe Linton and Bruno Guimaraes, run them absolutely ragged. But we don't need to rely on Newcastle and other teams to do our business. We need to do our own business. A point would have been good at Selhurst Park, but we didn't get a point because, oh my God, Nketiah. I can't get over it. Ismail Assar first scores a goal where it shouldn't have been a corner, but he always scores against us. It was a banker bet, right? Mateta bullied the crap out of Mateta. Wharton and Daichi Commander dominated the midfield. We couldn't get behind Tyreek Mitchell. Tyreek Mitchell absolutely flawed Mo Salah. Flawless performance. Munoz is always a threat up and down the right-hand side. To be fair, we played Munoz pretty well. Szoboszlai on occasion did good things, but yeah, he needs to take more initiative. He's more of a goal threat at the moment than Mo Salah. Sorry to say, Mo Salah needs to buck up his ideas or spend some time on the bench or even at least get subs because it just ain't it this season at the moment. Wirtz hopefully picks up some form because it is getting a little bit scary without assistant goals. I had to play my wild card, take him out of the team. Haaland scored a double. I wanted triple captain him. I couldn't. I played a wild card. You can't play triple captain in a wild card. So yeah, disappointing overall, but don't be too downbeat. We frankly didn't deserve anything out of that game. Alisson Becker. It would have been hit and run goal. Chiesa. We tried to win it at the end. Couldn't win it. We move on. It's not an invincible season. We've been defeated now. Buck up the ideas. We go again against Chelsea and hopefully we win. Miyazaki Man Ichiban had to be honest here. Tactical substance and abundance, tactical treasure without measure. Thank you everyone for supporting the channel through membership and joining me in a live watch along. Until next time, Jan Air. We'll be back, boys. Up the Reds. Ah, yeah.